Hello, and welcome to another week of the Abuse Cartoons live stream. So, back again. Yep, looks like everything's working. Let me know if the sound is up or something's odd. The microphone was not was not working earlier. Hey Rev, how's it going? So, it's the week of, I guess it's Sunday this year, but yeah, Valentine's Day in Japan is a thing. It was an imported holiday, and they tried to do it. I've talked about this a few times, maybe every year. This is a repeating conversation, but they tried to do it initially, and it was a candy company, the Morozov Candy Company in Japan, that tried to make it a thing, of course, to boost sales. Probably in a slow period. February, I'm sure, is not huge. And they did the traditional style where the men were supposed to buy chocolate for women. And what they ended up getting is just a bunch of people cheaping out and buying the cheapest thing they could find, little, train station, dollar chocolates and things. And so it didn't help their sales at all, so they just stopped promoting it. And I think it came back in the 70s. They did it, the second attempt was, I think, in the 70s, and it wouldn't be hard to look up, would it? And so they, this time they reversed it, because they know that in Japan women are better shoppers, or at least more discerning shoppers, and will buy more expensive things. And so that worked, and it stuck ever since. And so they have this reverse Valentine's Day here, where where the women have to do all the work, but interestingly, and the nice thing about it is that it's gone beyond the kind of the greed of candy companies, and for younger kids, school-age kids, a lot of girls bake. They do little baked goods, little brownies or cakes or chocolates and things for, hey Sedona. Oh, nice. Tattoo appointment for Valentine's Day. Yes. But yeah, they have So there's a kind of incentive to bake little sweets and things for your friends, which I think is much nicer and much it's not benefiting, any one kind of industry directly. So that was a thing for a while, and now it's just become the women with money go and buy the most expensive chocolate they can find for themselves because they have these pop-up chocolate shops, kind of either import shops or shops that are famous from Tokyo or someplace, that show up in all the department stores. So there's big lines for buying exclusive and limited, very expensive chocolate for yourself and possibly your friends. That was another thing that happened, and I'm not sure if that came with the second try or not, but there's this so women have to do all the shopping for their significant others, but the other thing that happened is there's, and this sounds like it was added later just to see how far they could push things, but friends chocolate. So you buy lesser, kind of smaller, friendly chocolate for coworkers and people you're just acquaintances with. So coworkers or classmates that you're just friends with, so it doesn't have any romantic meaning. But yeah, so it's funny. So to compensate for all the work that they've put on women for Valentine's Day, they created in March. They created White Day. Hey, Sean. Cool. I'll be waiting. Yeah, take care. Sedona, if you got it. Yeah, it's probably a little late where you are, but yeah, good to see you. And so to compensate, in March they created White Day, and I didn't know. Hey, Joe, how's it going? Joe the Wrench. They have White Day, and initially that was a pretty big failure because is a non-chocolate day. So I don't know if it was like a weird purity thing. Like there's a weird obsession with women's purity, or at least girls' purity in Japan. So the White Day was the thank you for anybody that gave you something on Valentine's Day. So the men were supposed to do something, and the main the main sweet for that day is marshmallow. And I don't think marshmallow was very common here prior to that. So, and I don't know many adults that are huge marshmallow fans. So that didn't go particularly well. And I think it's become more of a I don't know, like a cheesecake, white chocolate kind of holiday, because not everybody's a white chocolate fan, and so they have to find some kind of compensation. But I don't know why it can't be chocolate. Yeah, so there's something funny about that. But it all seems to be falling apart. It's just kind of mutating into this like other thing. Hey, K5, how's it going? Thank you. Thanks, Sean. That's good. Nice. Bird humor. I've got sand all over my table, and I think it's scratching the hell out of my... I was putting sand on miniature bases, and a little bit of it escaped, and it's crazy abrasive on this surface. I was just trying to wipe it off, and it's like making these gouges in the top. Nice. But yeah, so it's really funny. And all of the holidays are kind of, I guess that's what holidays are, that sort of thing. Companies can try to market them to their favor and try to make them what they would want people to do, and it's works well with Christmas in the US and things, but people do what they want to do, so eventually People will just kind of make it their own, and so that's what's happening with things like Halloween and even Christmas. Christmas in Japan is starting to be more of a kids' holiday, which is good, and less of a couples thing, because couples don't care anymore about doing those demonstrating your affection for somebody isn't as important as it used to be. So no, less fancy dinners and things. I mean, it was a very 80s thing to need to take somebody to dinner and show off your relationship. Younger generations just don't care, or don't have relationships, so it's not even an issue. Yeah, that's the I haven't heard it in a while, but that was the issue that I heard about when I first came to Japan, is the threat of 2D women. Meaning that so many, I guess maybe like the waifu complex, like so many guys that fall in love with characters. And, it's more controllable because you'll never be rejected by somebody. You can just, download the artwork of them. Nice. Oh, yeah, hey Sean, the hotkeys, as far as, it's probably good for switching tools. It's good to learn the hotkeys, and there's a couple of when I have to kind of batch process images, there's a couple of things like bringing up the image size. Some of those keyboard shortcuts are pretty useful for just speeding things up, and so the trick to learning those quicker is not use anything from the menu, but if you need to, go up to the menu. I'm trying to think of a good, everybody knows copy paste, but something like fill. So Shift F5 is the default for fill. So just use the menu instead of using the command. Just use the menu as a lookup for the shortcut, and then just after you have to do that a couple of times, hopefully it'll be stuck in your head, and then the kind of muscle memory will take over. So there's a lot of things I do on the keyboard that I don't remember when I learned it, but you kind of force yourself to learn it by not using the things from the menu, just checking what the keyboard shortcut is, and then just using that. But a warning, if you're streaming, and Photoshop and streaming don't work, don't cooperate very well, because a lot of the shortcuts you'll use will also jump to your scenes and things if you have like OBS or something open. So be careful that Photoshop is in focus before you start kind of hitting B to bring your brush tool up, because that'll jump your scene to be right back, which is what my scene is named on OBS. So it will, so sometimes in the streams you notice I just like randomly change scenes or randomly end the stream. It's just because I've hit the wrong shortcut. But that's the only thing I would caution you. If you're too comfortable with shortcuts in Photoshop, make sure if you're using multiple monitors that you've got Photoshop focused. Nice. Yeah, I don't do a lot with switching layers, like moving up and down layers, because I don't create. I guess I would probably do that more if I was doing a lot of digital painting. I'm basically just doing cartooning and simple fill coloring, but there's a lot of layer commands, so duplicating layers and moving up and down over. Oh, you can't see it here. Let me. Oh, you can't see it there either. So it's just. Oh, weird. It's off camera. Weird. Oh, that's funny. Well, there should be a layer menu under here. I think it's just off camera, but you can jump up and down in a sequence of layers, and duplicating layers and flattening things. If so, people that are doing digital painting sometimes have a lot of tricks for layering and kind of like digital glazing and things, where you're jumping up to new layers and painting on top of things and then flattening stuff back down. And I don't do anything that complicated, but I know that that is a thing. But it's useful if you have to work with a lot of layers. Hey, Cat Queen. But I don't know. I don't do it that much, but it's another one of those things you can check, I think, in the And it's also good. People have made good PDFs of all of the shortcut commands. But yeah, and some things, unfortunately, some things, if you want to automate them, you're going to have to make them actions because there's no keyboard shortcut for them, and actions are all going to be you bind those to the function keys, so you can only have, 24 of those, and there's already, for at least the main 12, there's already default functions set up. But yeah, it's pretty configurable. And so you can get it the way you want it, and then just hope you never have to install it again, because then you have to set it up again. And before they started Adobe, the Photoshop as subscription, when new versions came and you also switched machines and to a new version of Photoshop, you had to kind of re-customize everything. I think things have become more importable, and you can save things now, like to your account, your Adobe account. But yeah, I don't. I like, getting things exactly how you want them, but then having to recreate that is a real pain. All right, that's kind of a chocolate. Yeah, something like that. Those are really tiny. Maybe a little bit bigger. How's it going, Rev? I saw you earlier while I was still getting stuff ready. Yeah, when I was thinking about what you said, Rev, last week about decoupling socialization from school, from education. And I don't know why. It's so funny how, and maybe it's like the older you get, you just like accept these truths to be self-evident. I don't know, you just accept things in life. But I think that's a really good point, that having situations, or having kind of two like settings, two atmospheres, one for education and one for socializing, would not be a bad thing, because the social aspect of just public school is very distracting for a lot of students, and also can push some students out of actually getting much done or achieving very much. And so that's an interesting thing. They kind of do that in Japan. The schools, like, you're socializing during your club, kind of after school activities, but during school there's so much work, and the class schedule is so busy that you don't interact that much. You're basically just doing work and listening to lectures. And but yeah, I think that's a good, because for some reason I just had that default of, oh yeah, that's where you have to send your kids to school, because then they learn how to negotiate with others, and express what they want, and but I think that's actually a pretty valid point, that it's kind of bullshit, and it's fucked up some people pretty bad. So it wouldn't be a terrible thing, because I think we're also going to be the future is going to be much differently social than the past. So those old ideas, and that's the frustrating thing. Even just being a parent, I've had not quite generations. I had kids 12 years apart, and how much has changed between those 12 years is insane. And so the basic things that you learned, or the basic things you assumed when you were first being a parent in the 90s, is not applicable anymore, or things have changed. And so that's why, I don't know, I think that's why there's so much tension and frustration, even more so recently with kids and parents, is because things have evolved fast enough that parents are really out of the loop and don't have a great idea of how to what they're saying and what they're kind of trying to pass on, or the values or the thinking that they're trying to give their kids is almost totally useless in a lot of situations. Yeah, so it's really bizarre. I think you have to learn a certain amount of flexibility, and really consider, because I remember as a kid, the big evil was television. Not letting kids watch too much television, and television made them violent because There was one incident of one kid hitting his little brother with a hammer, like after watching, Bugs Bunny or Tom and Jerry or something. So they started censoring those cartoons, and that seems insane and naive now compared to the influences that people can have. I mean, basically, people can watch snuff films all day on the internet at any age that they can use a keyboard. So the stakes have changed a little bit, and kind of how kids are influenced are very different now, and I don't think simplify kind of old ways. So there were always so many people that denied their kids television, thinking that would help development or something, but then they lost that common pop culture vocabulary with their friends, or just that frame of reference from watching the same kind of stupid shows. So that kind of I don't know. It's just very funny that, but I think you made a valid point, Rev. Yeah, there's got to be some alternatives. Yeah, no, but I think that I was thinking about that after you said that last week, and I think that's an interesting, very interesting point, and I hope people are starting to try to reimagine some of these things and coming up with, testable alternatives that may have better consequences, especially when people are going to be basically sitting at workstations in their future, or if we're going to be doing more telecommuting and things. If your public speaking ability is going to be based on how you talk into a web camera, then it's going to be a very different situation. Oh yeah. I can't. I mean, I think it's getting to the point. Like, I'm thinking about my grandparents and then my kids, and how they wouldn't even be able to find a really good point of reference. Like, oh, did you watch any of your cartoons on TV? I watch YouTube. Great grandma, that. That's enough of a difference. K5 that I think they wouldn't even understand how kids are functioning. They would just have to give up, and maybe that's good. Our lifespan is just about perfect, because once you're 80 or 90 years old, there's gonna be too many things that you can't that you can't quite get your head around, that you can't function in, and you would just be taken advantage of. I mean, which does happen. You would just be used up, and so it probably works out just about right, because that's just about how fast things get away from you, so you cannot even relate anymore. Or it just, is really frustrating and depressing. Values you've kind of based your life on, you're like, oh, you just use an app for that now? Yeah. Crazy. Yeah. Yeah, we're definitely moving to a dystopic cyberpunk future. Yeah, what was the oh, sorry. Wait. Hold on for a second. Doorbell is ringing. Be right back. right, sorry about that. Mid-conversation. So yeah, as you heard, I'm sure you heard, I hooked up another doorbell because our doorbell only rings on the first floor. I'm on the second floor, and sometimes I can't hear it, so that's it. Yeah, but yeah, K5 talking about yeah, cyberpunk future. It made me laugh. I was watching the Hulu Brave New World series. So the guy that did Mad Men developed and it looks like it's going to go off the rails like immediately, but developed a TV series based on the book Brave New World, Aldous Huxley novel, and so they're portraying the future that, there's like a style for the setting, and the clothing that everyone is wearing looks exactly like Uniqlo clothes in Japan. So the future is already here. You can basically buy a weird kind of cream colored monotone wardrobe from a Japanese clothing store. Hello. Sorry. So we are already in this dystopic future of plastic clothes. Hey Kevin, how's it going? Where are you guys on Twitch? I'm reading the group, the combined chat, so I'm not seeing everybody. Oh, there we go. Yes. So, cool. All right, just bring all the chats up. So, what's going on here? Oh, okay. Nice. Yeah, thanks for watching. Get rid of that. Wow, yeah, you can bring that right up on Facebook. Great. Yeah, I reconnected Facebook. It wasn't... The future is now. Time moves so fast. See, I did the exact same thing I was talking about. I hit my B for my brush, and I go right to be right back. Okay. So, yeah, but you can eat very cheaply from kind of a discount clothing store, the discount Asian clothing store. You can dress exactly like a science fiction TV show. So it's pretty crazy. Nice. Oh, hey Kevin, how's it going? But yeah, I think I'm under control here with my shortcuts. I'm in Photoshop. I'm not switching scenes. I should just rename that scene, I think, because brush is often, when I'm going back to the brush tool. So, something water damaged. But, yeah. So I thought that was very odd. I don't know. I mean, there were some really good ideas that they came up with. I think Grant Morrison is also writing that, the comic book writer. He's also working on it. So there's obviously kind of more revolutionary type subplots and things. More like, V for Vendetta type stuff. But they've already done that mistake that I think Westworld did, where they got the first season to this point where they divided things into these factions. And from the very first episode, couple of episodes, they left this kind of mystery hanging, and now you know what's going on, and it's not that interesting, and it's not going to resolve very well. Just like Westworld, it just kind of became these, storylines that you're jumping between that you don't really care about, and the characters aren't very good, and their motivations aren't very clear. So they did that same sort of thing, and the first season is basically most of the events of the book plus some other stuff, but of course the book ends with the death of the main character, and the first season doesn't. So things are just going to kind of go on and on in this new way that is not. I don't know. Maybe Grant Morrison is a more capable writer than the people who worked on Westworld, but I don't think there's going to be a lot. There's not going to be easy to salvage what they've set up or make it not odd. Not have that same kind of odd fractured tone that is just like really politically heavy-handed and not that interesting. Because the interesting things was what was happening with the characters, like how the characters were kind of being tortured by these, realizations or exposure to things outside of their, normal life. There's a water damaged box. And so we'll see. Yeah, Joe, you gotta come. You gotta come to the. They have a lot of. Maybe they don't export them. They have a lot of collaborations with designers. In like European designers, maybe, but they come up with some really, really weird. You can dress like weirdly monotone in all kinds of strange synthetic cloth. Yeah, it's very odd. But the costume design did not look very futuristic because we're already. And maybe I'm just becoming too used to Japanese fashion is always a little bit more cutting edge, a little more experimental. So I see a lot more. I see a lot more strange stuff than maybe you would see unless you're like in Manhattan or whatever. So I don't know. But that made me laugh that it's going to be hard to make something look that futuristic, or inexpensively look futuristic because of what's already available. But I guess the same thing could be said. I mean, you could probably do a pretty convincing like set for a futuristic TV show just going to IKEA or some of the cheap furniture stores now, because like the more cheap materials they use, and the more design heavy they are, then the more futuristic things kind of read. Although the Swedish design seems to have what's that? Swedish design seems to lean so heavily into kind of 60s, that 60s futuristic aesthetic and color palettes. That I don't know. We'll see, but that's funny. It's going to be harder and harder to tell science fiction stories when we're living in a science fiction dystopia. But that's the thing that they always say. The function of science fiction is to just be a critique of the present. So things don't have to look that different. And that's why I think we have like that stuff that I'm writing for that Nmity series is just, a week in the future, a year in the future. It's like, it's barely future writing. So a lot of the speculative fiction is based on that. So it's not quite science fiction because it's just slightly ahead of where we are, and so you use those differences to kind of criticize the now. So that's what it is. All right, so I'm drawing a bunch of damaged boxes. Oh, actually, yeah, that one's, yeah. Oh, 16th. Oh, that's after. So maybe this one should be the 11th. Yeah. It's pre-Valentine's Day. Oh, I guess it doesn't matter. Just put that over here. Yeah, I don't think the order matters. People don't pay attention to the dates. But, okay, we'll make that the 11th, the cartoon for today. And what are we doing here? Yeah, so I have an example of Japanese Valentine's Day to show you guys later. Yeah, one of my students gave me something so I can show you like how elaborate stuff gets in Japan as far as like sweets and gifts and things. All right, so yeah, everything's still working okay. Yeah, so at the university they were talking, everyone's pretty excited about the results that are coming out of Israel. Infection rates versus the decline, the rapid decline in infection rates related to the vaccine. So they're using the Pfizer vaccine, so we'll see. But yeah, the professors and researchers I was talking to were really excited by that, and that, of course, makes them think, oh, the Summer Olympics are saved. But we'll see. We'll see what horrible monsters we're transformed into by altering our RNA. Yeah, so it's interesting, and it's nice though that the kind of research and academic community is constantly discussing things, and as new information comes out, everyone is really excited to talk about it. So that's fun for me to hear about, so I don't feel so in the dark. So we've had, they don't know exactly that there's a relationship between the vaccination and the infection rates. It could be a horrible, horrible coincidence that makes everybody feel oversecure. But yeah, so far it sounds promising. But we shall see. All right, no more box lids. That's not getting me anywhere. Something else, but yeah, so very unproductive week this week. I'm trying to edit the 5th story for that podcast, and it's just not coming out. I keep changing the character voices and things, and having to re-edit the whole thing, just because I'm trying to focus on it being as easy to listen to, or as nice to listen to as possible. And some of my the AI voice options are kind of unpleasant. Like, they're the right type of voice, they're how the character would sound, but they're not easy to listen to in long speeches or in like narration. So I keep kind of switching voices to make it work better. And I don't know if that's gonna help. I basically have a very limited cast of virtual voice actors to read things, but it's still fun to do. It's really fun to design, to come up with the sound effects, and how the background music is going to work, and they're fun to edit, but the voices are frustrating. Oh, hey, yeah, Unknown Girl, thank you. Yeah, thanks for listening. Yeah, so every Tuesday they've been coming out, and so the next one is I've been doing the editing for it, and I changed the narrator because I thought it was too hard to listen to. But yeah, thank you so much. Yeah, and kind of slow things down. That's true, because there's a lot of things that kind of I need to cut lines so there's more pauses and things, because the AI doesn't know, where to stop, and so I have to force it to stop and just like make space. But yeah, thank you so much for listening. I'm glad you're enjoying those. Those are really fun to do, and it's frustrating when I keep going back to those stories and wondering, is this worth? Because it's a lot of work to produce them that way. But it's just work. It's not expense. Like, I could get hire a professional voice actor to do it, but that's very expensive. So I don't know if I would ever recover the expense of having it read. And then also it's just one voice, whereas this synthetic way, I can take a lot of the he said, she saids out of the story, and just by switching voice, who's talking. But yeah, but there's like moments in those stories that keep me making them, keep me going, producing those, because I still think, there's still like little things that are like, yeah, this is worth doing. Kind of like with this cartoon, like I had to decide if I was just going to give up drawing this, or if there was something about it that was worth continuing doing. And I feel that same way about those stories. There's like something that it's hitting that feels like, yeah, it's worth like creating those moments or having those kinds of stories out there in the world, because I haven't seen anything particularly like that. They're usually heavier. That was the thing with Brave New World that I was a little frustrated with, is they had to elevate this drama, this romance and drama to this weird level, and in that kind of world, I don't think it would exist. Like, it would be very subtle and much smaller. But that's not how television is, and that's not what people expect from TV. So it has to be big and dramatic and emotional, and people need to be screaming and crying, and so I think it's more fun to have stories with smaller moments and little subtle things with a, little futuristic or, sci-fi kind of tone. So I think it's worth doing because I don't see it anywhere else, and that's that makes it worth it. That makes it feel worth it for me, at least. So I'm glad. Oh yeah, no, I won't. I've got a total of like 15 stories that are finished to varying degrees, and so I'm continuing. And a couple of them are things that I really, really like. They're a little bit difficult stories to tell, but I really want to get them across. Like the one that I'm trying to figure out exactly how it's going to resolve now is so it's that same future setting. So everyone's got their little visor, so kind of like an AR display. So everything they see has a visor screen over it that can actually control what they can and can't see. But it's a couple that don't speak the same language, never have, and they rely on an auto translation, like text basically popping up on their screen to translate what their lover is telling them. And I thought that was very fun. So I'm really trying to work out the difficulty of that, because I'm a little bit I've always kind of had friends and known people that have had those kinds of relationships where they can't communicate very well. They have international relationships, and the language barrier is pretty huge, but they still, like when I was in Sweden, there was a girl in Sweden with an Italian boyfriend, and they had to speak English together, and both of their English was really bad. So they had this really funny limited communication, but they were so, they had such strong feelings for each other, they endured that really frustrating limitation. So I wanted to do something about, as auto translation, as computer translation gets better and better, or as people start to rely on it more, like how heavily people will rely on it and what that will do to their feelings for each other. So so I'm working out, because it's going to be one story that's told, of course, from their two sides. So you're going to hear everything from her side, and then hear everything from his side, and then see how that resolves. But it's fun. It's really fun to kind of, and it helps me, just like this cartoon initially helped me with kind of my anger and frustration at that time. That really helps me, kind of be critical or frustrated with technology, or how we're kind of locked into these things that we didn't choose. These systems and software and technology we didn't really choose. We've just kind of been tantalized into carrying around smartphones, and people resisted for a while. There were still people for quite a while into the the 20 teens that were like, oh no, I just use the old flip phone. I don't need everything that comes with having a smartphone, all the extra communications and things. They only had text and phone calls, and I don't know if anybody's doing that anymore. I think everyone has been seduced into the app world. But so I'm glad you're enjoying. Oh, I don't know. That was high school age. So I wonder if they're still together. They were she was so beautiful and he was so good looking guy. I mean, they were such a gorgeous couple. It's crazy. Yeah, Swedish, so blonde Swedish girl and nice young Italian guy. Yeah, they were such a beautiful couple. I could see they just wanted to be together for aesthetic reasons. But I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if it survived. I'm wondering. I wonder if they're still together. Yeah, they were just friends I knew from school, and then once people got out of high school, a lot of people lost touch. So I'm only in touch with a couple of people that I was at the high school with in Sweden. But yeah, I wonder. because there's something about that. I mean, it takes a lot of the pressure out. I noticed that right away with my wife now is we don't sweat the little stuff, the small details and the little ways that someone says something that might, make you angry, or, oh, I hate how you say that, or I don't like the what do you mean? What do you mean when you say that? With if someone's speaking a second language, there's no subtlety. They're saying everything pretty directly, and that can maybe be hard to tolerate. Too much directness, and I think more so for my wife, Japanese people don't like really direct. It's real kind of uncomfortable, like really direct expression, which is all English is, or at least American English, can be a little bit exhausting. But you can't fuss over like little small things, so you just have to kind of get what you want out of a conversation. You have to be a lot. You have to simplify your needs, simplify your thinking, and not overthink. It helps, and I think that's really good for me, because I definitely am an overthinker. Someone says something like, what do you mean? Like I'm trying to translate it into their intention, or read subtext or something that may not even exist, and which would be crazy, because Japanese is super crazy like that. It's all subtext and hidden meaning, and it's all about what you don't say. But I think we have this with this weird combination of the two languages, so neither English or Japanese can be subtle, so that makes it that helps. I think that's good, and it just depends on your tolerances and your feelings, but yeah, I think that can be good, to not constantly be second guessing what people are saying. Yeah, but the thing that's good that I've kind of learned is English is really utilitarian. It functions really well, because you can mispronounce the shit out of English, you can use wrong vocabulary, and you still have communication. And a lot of languages fall apart very quickly when things are mispronounced, or if you're not using proper grammar, or some word choice is wrong. You have zero communication. Like, it just doesn't work. So English is a very simple, blunt instrument that kind of functions. Yeah, functions in that way. But yeah, I've learned that's the only thing I've basically learned about English. The difference is that it's really functional. So I think that's why it is kind of dominant, and also because it's a kind of the language of computers, or at least computer programming. But I think that's why it's done well as a global language, better than French or Chinese or whatever, is because it's just direct and simple, or it can be, yeah. But yeah, K5, I agree. There's some things can be lost. But just compare how subtly and how different, like, British English speakers say things, or how they express things, from American English speakers. It's very interesting how English is capable of being very subtle and very indirect, and very layered with other meaning. But it just depends, how you've learned to use it. But but that's been a good thing. So I thought that was a fun thing to try to write about, is if you have the shortcut of being able to communicate with anybody, not knowing how good the quality of your translation was, and just used a machine to communicate, what would that do? What would that do to the relationship? So that's what most of those Nmity stories have been, is just, what would that be like? Is just the only thing I'm thinking, is like, if technology invaded some part of your life too much, what would that be like? And then trying to untangle the feelings and the kind of tone of that situation. Yeah, I'm sure if they spoke English together long enough, I'm sure their they would, yeah, and have their version of English, because that's another thing that happens is you kind of speak your own. You kind of start making up your own language. Everyone speaks a type of pidgin English together if you're incorporating, words from other languages. But yeah, I think this will work. I'll do a lot of overlapping with the transparency of the glasses and get some cool color effects out of that. All right. Well, we can take a look. Oh yeah, I saw a travel log thing, a Tom Green video where he was in the Southwest. Like he went to some ghost. It was in America or Australia. He was like at some ghost town where the building, there was it was a completely abandoned town where everything is just kind of slowly collapsing, and he was walking around looking at looking at other stuff, or looking at I think it was the U.S. Yeah, I think it was like somewhere in the Southwest, or it could have been Australia. It was just kind of deserty. But yeah, I saw that he was doing. Whoa, there's the microphone. He was doing new stuff. That's good. It's good to see him still, and he should be, because he like started out, like doing like what public access, like Canadian public access TV stuff. So yeah, he should definitely take advantage of all the production. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, it's definitely not the cow udders with the Freddy got fingered Tom Green anymore. That's true. Uh, yeah, cool. Well, thank you. Yeah, Unknown Girl. Thanks for reading, or listening to the stories, reading with your ears. Yeah, and I should put up the text of those stories. I think that would help a lot more if you enjoyed the story, but the robots reading it kind of ruined it. I should put the actual text of the stories. Ultimately, when I finish everything that I've written so far, I want to do like a collected book, like do a self-published Lulu like volume of the stories. So anybody that's following the podcast can have that available. But maybe before that, I should put up PDFs of the text of the stories, because some stuff does get lost, and I'm using different AI voices that are simulating different accents, and sometimes the pronunciation. Like what was there was something I was really frustrated with. The British voice said hand or something very strangely, and you almost couldn't understand what they were saying. So there was some word I was like, I can't get a better pronunciation than that. Yeah. And sometimes I faked it. If I can't get them to say something, the voice to say something, I'll like kind of phonetically spell it out to get them to read, to force the read. All right, so let's take a look at last week. I think this is still working. I hope that, the scene is going on here. Okay, here. Comments. All right. So last week, there we go. All right, so February 9th. Oh, 5 comments. I wonder if our hockey poet is back. Limited means and imagination still produced a very potent cocktail. So mysterious ingredients creating this delicious green drink. All right, yes. Is that a Greyhound puppy cocktail? More like a mutt cocktail. Oh, wait, mutts are now called designer dogs. Oh, nice. Wait, I'm just getting these. Just a little bit of that. That's good stuff. Flaming Moe, that's right. Yeah, radiator fluid, exactly. That's what I was talking about. A Flaming Moe. Yeah, I just saw that. The Disney Plus in Japan has all of the Simpsons on it. So I just watched the Flaming Moe episode. All right. I don't understand the stream of consciousness comments from that hockey icon. All right. He was surprisingly optimistic for a completely empty glass. Oh, I'm doing more glasses this week. It's February 4th. Oh, boy. If you can't tell the difference between milk and solvents, R.I.P. In this house, you stand a better chance of being filled up if you are a coffee cup. Uh-oh. Arizona ginger tea and orange juice. The glass is just a poor relation. That's pretty good. Poor relation. Wow, I never would have thought. That's kind of an old expression, but that's pretty good. And you can just see right through him now. Right through him. Why do these displays always look like some sort of IQ test? All right. Well, the comments are getting busier. Yeah, people are trying to guess what I'm what I'm portraying. Okay, we'll do a couple of randoms and see. 2006. Oh, look at the little snowballs. His sudden pacifist stance and melting protest startled the other snowballs. Snowball protest. 18. The ice cubes needed more than UV protection. Oh, look, they've got little sunscreen on them. All right. 2013. Their lack of contribution to the meals was beginning to be noticed. Completely empty, dejected, and soon ejected. But recycled to live again. Yes. Recycling as afterlife. Ooh, there's some marker. She resented his exactness while he hated her need to turn everything upside down to feel useful. Ha 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 ha. All right. 2008. The tiny boxes lingered in hopes of finding some other tiny purpose. Kittens. Nice. Little boxes on the hillside. Little boxes full of tiki. Oh, yeah. What's that from? Yeah. Then they found a purpose. They could hold lots of SD cards. Little tiny boxes. My tiny little house is filled with them. SanDisk memory cards. All right. 7 years ago. Okay, one more. Oh, here we go. 2018. It was the intermediate stage of becoming a banana nut muffin that he found the most unpleasant. Oh, it's mushy banana. Wow, that's a huge cartoon. Look how big the drawing is. It's funny, I barely remember this idea. I must have been... I don't know if I was live streaming when I did this. Yeah, that's funny. Mushy banana. Wow. All right. Back to it. There we go. Ah, I was in Texas. I'm Texas. Yeah. Yeah, I think I subscribed to the channel. I think it was a YouTube thing I was watching, so I think I subscribed to the Tom Green channel, so I should take a look. I haven't seen anything new. But I've heard him on a couple of podcasts, like other comedians have had him on. And he's really good. I mean, he's just really good off the top of the head, kind of in discussion. A lot of them, like people that I like their comedy, they're always like mentally really quick, so they're good conversations. But you'll have to see. But yeah, did he get remarried? I wonder what's going on with him. Like lifestyle wise. Nice. I must have been high. Banana high. Yeah, it's funny. But I mean, like, doing this, yeah, so regularly, it's easy to forget. All right, so let's color some of these. Come up with some. So maybe the top is darker. Let's see how this looks. If we do it this way. Maybe the other way? Yeah, I think the other way looks... That's more natural. Yeah, we'll go with that. I can't think... Yeah, I think it is always darker in the interior. And then that weird... paper color. Actually, I need to make sure that this reads as the papers and not a bunch of chocolates. Lighter. Yeah, maybe this. Yeah, that'll look. That doesn't look like chocolate. So. And then this one will. I hope. Let's see. Yeah, that reads. All right. That's cool. Yeah, I gotta watch. Yeah, because I always liked Tom Green's sense of humor. I wish he would have had more, like, done more films and stuff. But I just don't think. I don't know, because he got associated, like, he had a series on MTV, and did some movies, but I think this whole, like, kind of creator environment would be much better for him, and hopefully he gets some people backing him. Yeah, I wonder how he did from the 90s. Like, I wonder how well, financially his career went, so that if he can do whatever he wants now or what. All right. I think these work. Oh. But maybe not. Oh, I guess I can. And then just put a highlight. Make it a little shinier. Yeah, this just has to read different enough. All right. Wow, this one's going pretty fast. There we go. All right. Let's get a shadow here. All right. Yeah, I think that reads as a heart-shaped box, right? Kind of. Oh, maybe looking at the only chocolate. I don't think there's going to be... I guess it'll work. These little eyes. I can't fit eyes on all of these. There we go. All right, chocolates or the former wrapping of chocolates, former chocolate papers. All right. So there's a Valentine's joke somewhere in there. Yeah, actually, I don't know if I've done that much Valentine's humor. We'll have to see. Okay, get all of this filled in. Yeah, I definitely have to do some colors for the drinks, or else this is going to be a very monotone image. There we go. What? Oh, maybe it didn't connect it there. There we go. Oh, actually, yeah, I'm gonna have to put things on different layers, so the overlap makes more sense. Okay, maybe some kind of weird light blue. Oh, that didn't get filled. Okay, wait. Wait. Ah, yeah, and then I have to make sure that everything is... Let's do multiply for now. Yeah, so try to do weird overlaps of colors and something kind of more yellowish. Oh, that's not filled either? Really? Yeah, jeez. Okay. I thought I hit all of the... There we go. Oh, now we need that color back. So everything will be filled up just enough to overlap. All right, and I guess something kind of warm, orangey, reddish. Oh, right. Okay, well, not on the same layer. Okay, there we go. So now I've got to put everything in order, so this goes on top of that. I guess that works. So if I just do white, is that going to read? Kind of. I guess it just depends on the color. So I think I should just do it more manually. Yeah, that'll be better contrast. Oop. Where is that? Here? Yes. Yeah, that'll work. Better as the highlight on the top then. And one more. Ah. Nice. Old radiator fluid. Oh, wait, what's going on here? This one. Oh. This is on... No, I'm on the wrong layer. That's why. There we go. Yeah, the way it's blending, it's not doing anything. Okay, so what is spilling everywhere? Something maybe weird minty green. So first the inside. A little bit more. And then something to go. Oops, I can just fill this and erase it. Easier. Okay. I think I'll go through and lighten. Well, we'll see. We'll see how it looks, but lighten all of that. Including this. Yeah. So liquid. Oh, nice. Well, thanks. Yeah. Good to see you, Unknown Girl. Thank you for being a listener. I'll keep at the stories, and yeah, I definitely want to take your suggestion and like make the pauses and pacing of the reading work better. So thanks so much, and have a good dinner. See you next time, I hope. Yeah, I appreciate the input very much for those stories. Okay, the blue. Oh, that's already... Oh, there it is. There we go. And... a little bit more. Alright, and now we'll try to... put some render on this. Everyone's curious what's for dinner. Oh no. Don't tell anybody. You'll just make them hungry. And it's not time to eat where most people are living. Something like that. There we go. Yeah, these should almost be their own layers too. But I think I'll go through and put a little bit of highlight. Actually, I think I want that ice cube to have the kind of blue line thing going on. Yeah, just to make it read more like ice. Oops, where is the actual ice cube? There. Alright, and then I guess I don't need to... Yeah, that works. And its color. There we go. Alright. Let's try, yeah, there we go. And then that little extra line makes it a little bit glassier. I can also cut that edge. Then yeah. Okay, so yeah, we can't go behind that. There we go. I think that reads as glass. Nice. Vegemite. Vegemite. Alright. Alright. Cool. I think that does it. Yeah. That reads as some kind of what? All right. Oh, that's right. That line does make it kind of weird with the eyes. Let's zoom in here. Having trouble seeing the cursor. There we go. Oh no, that's not good. And tiny icicle eyes, or ice cube eyes. Which probably should be blue, right? Nice. All right. A spilled drink. All right, so let's take a quick look at Valentine's. What Valentine's Day looks like in Japan. So let's see if I can get actually to where I am. All right, boom. Oh, well, the green screen is not doing great, but close enough. All right, so this is this is what I got. One of the things I got for Valentine's Day, kind of pre-Valentine's Day, because I'm not going to be at the university until next Tuesday. So this I think is a cake. I think there's a cake in here, but everything you get at a department store. Whoa, it doesn't. Wow, it doesn't like that light. What's going on? Yeah, the camera doesn't like that big box. So everything you get at a department store gets always wrapped intricately. And actually, this is really cool. That's something I should try. I've never tried to do it before, but in Japan they have a standard kind of piece of paper. I forget if it's like 40 by 40 centimeters or something, 30 by 30 maybe, that they can wrap anything with that piece of paper, and it's always this style, this kind of oddly asymmetrical style, because there's a way that you line up what you're going to wrap on that sheet, and just kind of it's amazing to watch them wrap things in department stores. Anyhow, this is one of those. That's why it's wrapped. It has that weird angle. So let's open this up. So this is just kind of like a coworker level, so maybe not the super, expensive, gorgeous. Although it looks like a nice shop. Look, it's got a little gold. It's got a little gold sticker on it. So maybe a decent shop. Yeah. Oh, chocolate baumkuchen. So it's what I've heard called tree cakes or log cakes, the German style tree cake or log cake, which I think are more popular in Japan than anywhere else. Oh, so here's the packaging. Ta-da! So, wow, the camera's really not keying well anymore. So Gokon is the shop, and nice. Yeah, so these are called tree or log cakes because they're thin rolls of dough. So they've also heard them called spit cakes, not spit as in spit on them, but spit as in they're baked on a spit. So they're baked on like a rotating, like a dowel or a pole. So let's take this off and see what this looks like. And the reason they're called that is because they have layers. You bake each layer. So, so the layers are... Oh, this looks nice. Ta-da! So the layer... Oh, and they even put the mark of the shop on there. So the layers of dough are put on this, like, rotating spit and baked. And so the cakes themselves have all of these layers, like if a cross-section of a tree or a log. So they get called log cakes or tree cakes. But the thing that I read about these cakes, so the Japanese, well, very reflective, the Japanese pronunciation is Baumkuchen, and but it's more in German. That's like all they could interpret from the German. And I don't have any sort of German knowledge, but I've heard people call them Baumkuchen, Kuchen, and so they just kind of simplified it. But it's and I guess Baum is like Tannenbaum, so maybe tree is in the name of the cake. But yeah, these are pretty good cakes. But the story is really funny. They during World War I, the Japanese army brought some German national and his wife to Japan. I don't know, for their safety or as prisoners or whatever. But the guy, after the war, the guy started a cake shop in Hiroshima, maybe, and then later moved to Kobe and opened like a bigger shop. And I didn't hear like what happened to them, if they ever left Japan or whatever, but this type of cake that they started in this cake shop became very, very popular in Japan. And basically you can get it everywhere, convenience stores or department stores. Everybody has some little version, and sometimes in the convenience store it's just a little piece, like they'll just cut a little piece like this and have those individually wrapped. But this is a tiny one too. They can get much bigger, but this is a little snacky version. Yeah, so chocolate flavored for Valentine's Day. And let's see here. Oh yeah, it's on a little plate. I have a knife here, so maybe I can cut a piece off and actually show you. Yeah, but that was nice. It's a nice kind of coworker gift. I don't see... Oh, there we go. Where'd you open it? But it's just... Oh, it's sticking to the side here. Oh, because it is frosted. Interesting. Usually these don't have any frosting. They're just plain cake. Sometimes... Wow, it's really rich frosting. They're sometimes glazed, like a donut, kind of glazed on the outside, but I rarely see them with frosting. They're usually you just have the baked edge. You just have that like darker baked edge. But this one has chocolate frosting, so I'm going to make a huge mess trying to get this out. So this one has chocolate frosting all around the edge, so I needed to be a lot more careful. Wow. Wow. Yeah, so you can see a lot of it came off there. So yeah, there's chocolate frosting all around the edge. I haven't seen that before. That's wonderful. For these cakes are usually very plain. So they're good like kind of tea cakes or whatever. But yeah, so I've got a knife, so I'll just try to cut a piece. So this is like when you usually are given a piece of this, you cut it like a cake, even though there's a giant hole in the middle. You cut it like a cake. So you see this shape a lot. You see these little things kind of packaged, and that's what this is. This is a slice or a piece of the Baumkuchen. So that ring, they just cut it. So luckily all the frosting stuck to the plastic, so it's not all over my fingers. But yeah, these are pretty good. They're really light, and I think it may be the kind of a Japanese recipe. So maybe a German cooking style, but a Japanese recipe, because they're really light and not very sweet. Yeah. Very light chocolate cake. Yeah, really good. Wow. And with that frosting on there, probably pretty awesome. Usually it's just like a yellow cake. Yeah, chocolate is more rare. You see it as a yellow cake with a glaze. on the outside. And I've seen matcha versions. Of course, everything in Japan, there has to be a matcha version, a green tea version. So chocolate, green tea, or usually yellow cake is the most common. Yeah, if I go to that shop, if I'm in the department store, they have one of them, maybe like a display model version. I'll take a photo of like what they usually look like, but it looks like a really large log. Like if you chopped down a tree and took out like a cross section of it, they're usually a pretty big log that they just kind of roll the layers of dough on. But yeah, it's good. So thank you, Maho, for the for the cake. Happy Valentine's Day. So that's so with your coworkers, you usually have you go. That's such a Japanese thing too. It's like you work in a department with like 10 people, so you have to go buy 10 cakes, or you have to go buy 10 boxes of chocolate or whatever for all of your coworkers. That's a really common thing. It's really common when you travel, not even for holidays, but when you travel, there's so much gift-giving etiquette in Japan. But if you go somewhere, mostly like I guess it can be domestic travel, but usually people really expect it with travel abroad, with foreign travel. You have to bring back a small souvenir for everybody that's going to ask you about your trip. And I guess the idea is, your travel benefits everybody because everybody gets to try some, pineapple sweets from Hawaii or some whatever. Wherever you go, you get something that it's famous for, and you give somebody a little souvenir. Anybody that would possibly ever ask you. So sometimes you'll see in places that have a lot of Japanese tourists, like I saw this in Hawaii a lot, a big bag of like keychains, like a bag of like 50 keychains for just to buy all at once because people are going to say, oh, how was Hawaii? And they're expecting you to give them something. And so you give them a keychain that says, aloha or whatever. But yeah, that's the very typical style. So so Valentine's Day is a little bit like that. Kind of everybody that that you interact with, kind of thanks for working together. Here is your friendship chocolate. But yeah, so this is great. It was a nice surprise. Yeah, and especially this cake is very easy because it's not even the chocolate is not so rich that people can't enjoy. Wow. So that is it. So I'll just put here. So now it's a letter C. Yeah, so the German cake, super popular in Japan for some reason, but only because some guy, I don't know the circumstance. I'm sure I could look up, if I look up his name and a little bit more of the details, talking with my mouth full, some more of the details about the circumstance for his coming to Japan. So this is just like a weird product of war, weird product of a wartime, and also, Japan's weird relationship with China at the turn of the 20th century. But yeah, so war brought this cake to Japan, and it never left. Sorry. Wow. Yeah, so that's good. It's a good. That's a good version of that cake because usually, like I say, it's just the yellow cake with a glaze on the outside, which is nice because you can handle it easily. It doesn't like come off on your fingers. This is a little tricky because it's got a layer of frosting on the outside, but really good. All right, I'll stop making you guys hungry at 3 a.m. or whatever time it is where you are. Oh, yeah, but and they all kind of taste the same. I don't know what that is. So it's the same recipe, and maybe to do the thin layers of cake, it's always that same sort of that same type of cake. So it's not doesn't taste like it's got a lot of egg in it. It's pretty light, and but they all kind of taste the same. Even the there's something similar to the quality, no matter what the flavor is. Something similar to how they maybe because it's not a big cake that kind of rose all together. It's not so fluffy. It's more like several thin cakes, very thin cakes baked together. So yeah, it's a very unique flavor. But yeah, so that's in Japan, Baumkuchen. And I I don't know what the German. I'd be curious too if these cakes are popular at all still in Germany, or if it's just one of those things that only lives on in Japan. If it's like a too old fashioned or not. It seems like it's you have to kind of have a special type of oven or a special the way that it's set up to bake that. It can't be easy. Like every bakery can't be set up to cook that big long log cake. But I guess so you cook it all at one time and then slice it this way and then sell it, and then they slice it this way. So that's what the weird cake shape is from. All right. Oh, nice. Oh, 8 a.m. Oh, my God. So is it still from the morning, from the day before, or still the morning, or morning of the new day? Nice. 8 a.m. 12:30 here. Oh, that's good. Nice. Snack time. Yes, I should get some sponsorship from 7-Eleven or some fast food or something to get. I bring in the customers after eating on stream. Yeah, it's really funny. Yeah, next time if I think of it, I'll get one of those little pieces that they have. I still have frosting all over my fingers. I'll get one of those little pieces they sell at the convenience stores to show you. Yeah, it's just a odd little tiny piece of that same cake. Yeah, I don't know why it's so popular. I guess because it's real neutral, like anybody can enjoy it. So it's not. That's what they like, is consensus in Japan. So let me move that tablet out of the way. All right. So, one drink too many. So he was too full or too something. So a drinking joke. Oh, cool. Nice. Yeah, it's a funny. I should do a little bit more research about it because it's very odd, that combination of wartime. Oops. Yeah, wartime and. Let's check. Yeah. Karl Joseph Wilhelm Juchheim. Juchheim was in the Chinese city of Qingdao during World War I, and when the war ended, the Japanese army removed him and his wife. Yeah, there's some notation here. So he started making and selling the traditional confection at a German exhibition. Oh, so, okay, a German exhibition in Hiroshima in 1919. The continued success allowed him to move to Yokohama and open a bakery that was destroyed in the Great Kanto earthquake of 1923. So he had a bakery for like 3 years. And then he moved his operations to Kobe, where they stayed until the end of World War II. And some years later, his wife returned to Japan? Yeah, so maybe they fled to Germany during the war, to open a chain of bakeries under the Juchheim name and help spread the Baumkuchen's popularity in Japan. Oh, and that store is still in operation. So, yeah, if you go to Kobe, that original chain is still there. Sorry, I shouldn't be reading, or shouldn't be, yeah. Yeah, nothing means quality like a live stream that's reading Wikipedia to you. All right. Nice. Yes, poison. Which one was the poison? Let's see. Yeah, it's crazy. So it's like 100-year-old store if it's still there. Or I guess if they moved after the war, so it's like 80 years old. But yeah. Yeah, that's really. I'm sure I've seen that brand. I've seen the Juchheim brand on cakes before. So that's the original recipe, creator. Really funny, the things and why are Japanese people so, keeping it alive, like so obsessed with it. That's very interesting. That some things just really stick here. Like the costera, the kind of Portuguese maybe sweet. You basically cook it. It's almost like sweet pancake batter, and you cook it. You make a little kind of puffy, I don't know what you would call that. It's not a cookie. It's not. You make a little puffy kind of pastry out of it, and those are really popular here. And I think those are originally Portuguese, and they're just like they've become Japanese. Like they're so synonymous with like kids snacks at a Japanese festival, but I think originally it's a Portuguese type cake, like a little cake. All right. Anyhow, let's see. Yeah. So which one contained the poison? They quickly found out. Oh, maybe I should put the eyes. See, I'm already editing the cartoon here, but maybe I should put the eyes the other way so that it looked more like he fell over. Yeah, like this. All right. Yeah, that makes more sense. Then some action looks like it happened. Are you trying to bribe me for large pizzas, 4 toppings? Nice. Turtles and slime. Nice. The colors of the Ninja Turtles. Nice. I do. I know the Ninja Turtle. That's pretty funny. Oh man. All right. Oh yeah, I think that might be good. Yeah, color mixing. Oh, sorry. Let me. Did I miss a comment? Sorry. Some empty friend. Cool. Okay. Oh yeah, so yeah, that must be, that's why it's, yeah, so it must be tree cake. So Kuchen must be German word for cake. And Baum must be tree, like Tannenbaum. Yeah. So tree cake. Yep. That's exactly it. Yeah, thanks. Sorry, I missed your comment there. Some empty friend. Yeah, that's definitely, that definitely must be it. Cool. What's this bidding going on? Nice. Yeah, Sean has a pizza obsession. I can tell already. All right. So something about. Yes, it's going to be another bad cocktail joke. Too much to drink or not. K5 is running the auction. All right, so. Oh, sorry. A little caffeine left. So too much to drink, or not enough, or an escaping ice cube. Oh yeah, something about an ice cube. Nice. Yeah, too many beer pong games. All right. Yeah, Ice Cube Escape. Escaping ice cubes always filled them with hope. What they were. Yeah, something about. I like that they were cheering on, that they were on the side of the escaping ice cube, but they knew it wouldn't last long. Uh, yeah, so something, so short-lived. I think that's hyphenated. Joy, short-lived happiness. So if you are were always so escaping in the process of escape. Joe's negotiating. Man, all the Joe's wrench power has gone straight to his head. Nice. A Nancy Kerrigan joke. Nice. Joe figured out a total wrench scheme. Oh, man. Short-lived happiness. Yeah, something about, I think happiness is close enough. But yeah, like they were all happy to see an ice cube escape, but knew it was just going to melt anyhow. So escaping ice cubes so escaping, because it's in the process. Escaping ice cubes are always a short-lived happiness. So something that makes you happy because of it happening, not something you're doing. You like to see this thing happen, but it doesn't last long. I guess it's a happiness, short-lived happiness. Something like that. I noticed, Joe, your wrench schemes have been found out. Oh wow, my glass looks really black and terrible because it's keying out. It's actually bright blue. Yeah, it's weird. So yellow to blue keys out, and still this screen isn't perfectly. That's really weird. The range, though, of the key is really strange. All right, escaping ice cubes or is a short-lived happiness. Let's go back to that. Something. Oh, maybe I should write on top of the box to like. Oops. How did I do that? Like a little embossed thing. Something a little lighter. So just like the name of the shop, or oh, that's not quite bright enough, is it? Something. Yeah. It needs to look like it's written on that package, though. kind of works. It's yeah, maybe smaller is better. Yeah, something like that. All right. Fleeting is good. Oh, nice. Oh, very, very good. Thank you, some empty friend. You are coming in with the German, and the fleeting is better than short-lived. Yes, because it has the the image of movement too. Fleeting. Thank you very much. That's beautiful word choice. Escaping ice cubes are always a fleeting happiness. I hope that's what you meant, because that's that works really well. All right. So some kind of chocolate binging. So the box, worrying about how much how much was left. Yeah, something. Or, let's see. I've done that kind of child joke before, where the smaller components of something, they see as their children, but I don't think that's not very Valentine's. Something about how much was left. Yeah, very good. Yeah, good word choice. That helps too, because it's sometimes I get really stuck. Like, it's hard to get out of your own limited vocabulary, and so coming up with good kind of colorful words. So sometimes I'll stumble across that, just kind of thinking through the idea, stumble across a good phrase or the good word that fits. But that was perfect. Yeah, fleeting is much better, especially with the image of something escaping. And then we don't have the hyphen issue. All right. Yeah, how much more? Yeah, how many layers? Because sometimes don't those boxes have multiple layers? There'll be a divider, so it'll be one layer and a divider. That's a big enough box for 2 layers, right? Oh, yeah, that might be, if that's common knowledge, that might be funny. So she noticed the interaction is, she noticed he is from the second layer, he would be a type of chocolate to come. So already the first layer is completely gone. I don't know. That might not be common knowledge enough to be funny. Or filled chocolate. Yeah. All right. Okay, so yeah, something about I like the being worried that that meant that the box was almost empty. Yeah, it would be layer, right? I don't know if that's gonna. These, I don't think the layer jokes are gonna work. It's a bad, yeah. That's really clumsy. If he was from the second layer, then the first layer. No, wait. I don't know which way you would, or I don't think a layer joke is going to be good. So just something about how much is left, or how much. how much more there was no way to know. There was no way to know how much chocolate or time she had left, or they had left. Yeah, the remaining chocolate, how much? Oh, those are the yeah, so the idea is that these are those little papers that like individual little confectionery chocolate are wrapped in, and so that's supposed to be a chocolate just with some shape to it, you know, like how they have the design or pattern. So yeah, I don't think it's, yeah, not quite bitten, but yeah, no, they are just the little folded papers. Yeah, so they're just all discarded paper from previous chocolate. So yeah, so what the so she lived as if every chocolate was her last. She lived each day as if every chocolate were every. Oh no, that's the every chocolate were her last, was her last. Let's see if I can check my grammar on that. So as if every chocolate was her last. Yeah, every individual chocolate. So was. Yeah. Yep. I think that's right grammatically. Oh yeah, sorry. Yeah, I tried to make them. Yeah, I tried to make the color like at least gray and desaturated enough. So maybe I should make reference to them not being chocolates. Yeah, it's the little papers. Yeah, were every were. Okay, everyone was is correct. It's an indefinite pronoun. Everyone, so every chocolate is not an indefinite pronoun. Yeah, not everyone, every something. Oh, okay, so so plural noun, plural verb, every. Singular noun, singular verb. So every chocolate. I hate this because I know somebody on Go Comics is going to jump all over this. Yeah, so everyone is not very helpful. Yeah, every something. Yeah, I had to deal with this before. Was. Yes. Yeah, every, so we're calling them individual. Yeah, I'm saying it's individual because every one chocolate, each chocolate. Should I just get rid of every? Each chocolate was her last. So she lived each day as if every chocolate was her last. And these are the papers. Oh, yeah, yeah. Make it look empty. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, that's probably a good idea. Let me zoom in and make it darker. Oops. Oops, 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 oops. Yeah, darker on the inside so they look like empty things. That should help. So... What's going on? Oh, that's... What is going on? Oh, 2%, that's why. What? Right here. Okay. That's not going to do it, is it? 40? Yeah, there we go. So try to get this to read empty. Ah, he's flipped over. Hopefully that'll help. Yeah, that detail, it might work. Nice. Ah, yeah. The liquor might be good. Lived each chocolate. That's good. Yes. That's much better instead of day. As if. Ah, but... Yeah, I like she lived each chocolate. Were each chocolate. She lived each chocolate. Ah, each something. Let's see. Each was. Were. Each of her eyes were was. Each was is correct. Yeah, so singular. Yeah, so each one must, as if it was, if it were. She lived each chocolate as if it were her last. As if it was her last. Hey, Michael Scott. What are you talking about? Yeah, let's see. Yeah, I like that. Were. Right. As if it were... Right. No, I think that's, yeah, let's try that. I think were. Because it's imagined. She lived each, I like lived each chocolate is good. Instead of day. Yeah, I think that works. We'll see what the grammar Nazis have to say. Oh, man. That's crazy. Yeah, it's crazy someone can just tweet a single word and a stock or a currency can jump in value. Were her last. I think that works. There we go. Escaping ice cubes were always a fleeting happiness. And she lived each day as if it were... At least lived each day. Each chocolate. She lived each chocolate as if it were her last. Living a chocolate, I think, is a pretty funny phrase. Living each chocolate. Nice. Oh, man. That's crazy. All right. So I think that's gonna do it. Yeah, so thanks for enduring the chocolate cake opening today. But now we know. Now we know that those are called tree cakes. Like literally, they're called tree cakes. Nice. Nice. Well, thanks so much. Yeah, as if it's... Yeah. Very good. Yeah, thanks for the grammar assistance. That's always useful, too, because I always struggle over that, and then I put something up, and gets torn apart. So we'll see. We'll see if... I don't think there are any lingering grammar Nazis on my... following my cartoon, but we'll see. That used to be such a pain in the past. A lot of constant criticism every time I was posting something. But yeah, just simplifying it or kind of making it as clear as possible is a good idea anyhow. So escaping ice cubes were always a fleeting happiness, and she lived each chocolate as if it were her last. All right, I think that will do it. Nice. Well... So everyone, please take care, and we'll do this again next week. And if you get a chance, please visit. There's a link in the description of this, or the description info text of this stream. But visit the Nmity either YouTube channel or the website that has the podcast on it, because it's another thing that I've been working on, and I'm just curious to get people's reactions. And now I've got to go edit the next story. But so they're just like little short, like 12 to 15 minute sci-fi stories. But I used this AI voice generation, which is getting better. It's still not perfect, but it's getting better. And I thought it fit the strange setting anyhow. So everyone is kind of trapped by technology, and the story you're reading is read by technology. So it's a little ironic and odd, but cool. Yeah, so take care, everybody. Yeah, Sean, take it easy. And K5's playing fork knife. Nice. But cool. Oh yeah, there are kids. So right outside is just some stairs. So yeah, it's kids are getting off of school or headed home. So yeah, there's kids in the neighborhood that are coming back from their probably their after school things, because school usually ends like 3 here, 3:30, and then kids have like 90 minutes of whatever their club is, and the club is like, chess club or ping pong, or like there can be a sports club or just like a more hobby club. So kids are coming home. So yeah, everybody take care, and thanks so much for the writing assistance and the entertainment. And I hope it was fun to listen to some nonsense about German cakes trapped in Japan. But everyone take care and be safe. And if this is your first time watching, I do this every week. So 2 single panel gag cartoons. You can find them at gocomics.com/domestic abuse. The website is abusecartoons.com, and you can also follow on Twitter at abusecartoons, and there's a Facebook page, and then both Twitch and YouTube channel. So I stream both Twitch and YouTube every week. So yeah, so if you subscribe, you'll get a notification when I'm back live. So until then, everybody be safe, and talk to you soon. All right. Yeah, thanks for watching, everybody. Michael Scott, Cat Queen, K5, Joe, a quick appearance by Sedona. Yeah, everybody that was on stream. Yeah, thanks for watching. See you again. Goodbye.